Why? What's happening, everybody? It's your boy. Yes, sir. We back. It's Monday, 2 o'clock. Ding, 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 ding. Let's talk with Stanley Doucette is running live right now on One Voice Radio. How's everybody doing? What's good? How your mom and them darn and your uncle and your cousin and them darn? How is everyone? I miss you guys. Where have y'all been? What's going on? How is everyone doing today? I know y'all had a fantastic week. Excuse me, not just week, but weekend. We're going into another week with a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm. We're running close to July 4th. That weekend, for those that's in New Orleans, going to be celebrating Essence. Shout out to all of you guys and enjoy yourself, have an incredible lot of fun, do your thing. Essence, keep doing your thing. By the way, I need to be speaking at Essence. I holler at your boy. I need to go it on and get in there. Yeah. Let's talk need to be in there. Let's get it. Anyway, how you guys doing? This week on the episode, we have a listen. This is going to be a serious episode. It's going to be powerful, but it's going to be serious. Now, I'm going to share some things that it may offend some people. It really may offend some people, but I have to let it out, right? I have to let it out. I'm in the office, doing our thing. We making it happen. We live. We having a lot of fun. But today is one of those days you may want to tag somebody, text somebody, tell somebody that Let's Talk is with Stanley Doucette is on the air right now, and you need to log in. Go to onevoiceradio.com, log in right now. Go to One Voice Radio and log in right now. For all of you guys that are live with us, wherever you are around the world. I don't care if you're in the continent of Africa or the continent of South America. You're in the continent of North America. Wherever you are, welcome to our show. Listen, I got to get into this. I don't want to spend a lot of time with celebrating today and having a lot of time because this is a serious topic. If you have something even you want to take some notes with today, go ahead and take some notes because today I want to talk about just simply uh, the 2025 black man, some of the challenges that are facing the black male. Now, if you are some of my friends that are white or Asian or Hispanic or whatever you want to call yourself, and you're thinking this show is not for you, it's specifically set for not just you, but everybody, because we have to continue to lift up everyone around us. And today I want to share some very powerful topics, some very powerful things about the challenges that the black male actually face on a daily basis. Some of these, believe it or not, you guys around the world may not even have to touch, but there are individuals in America that's going to know exactly what I'm talking about and what I'm referring to. So let's go ahead and dive on into this because this is good. If you got something to take some notes with, this gonna be good. This gonna be good. So the first thing I want to talk about is the education disparities. Just education disparities in and of itself. Believe it or not, fewer black men have bachelor's degrees compared to any other group. And I'm only talking about a bachelor's degree. Listen, there's literally fewer black men have less bachelor's degrees than any other group that they can compare it to. Now let's think about that. Now, there are some ways and some reasons why people may say, black men may have educational inequalities, the quality of education for black student overall is at risk. Overall is at risk. Why am I saying is at risk? First of all, I think it's Project 2025, I think is in there, but they're literally talking about dismantling the Department of Education. Now, think about this. Well, first of all, why would you even eliminate the Department of Education? Now I know a lot of people saying, well, is budget cutting and won't cut down on funds, but in education, while you have some of the other countries that are superior in education than America, but we want to cut that. We want to cut a whole bunch of research out. That doesn't, it just logically doesn't make sense, right? But if you are a black male, it gets even lower. Think about this. I don't know if you guys know or not, whether you do or not, but I'm a black male. I graduated from an HBCU proudly with my bachelor's degree. I got it on my wall, shining and all and glistening. But think about this. HBCUs actually started from the excuse me, that was my phone. I thought I had turned it off, but it's off now. But HBCUs started from a standpoint of other colleges and universities didn't want black people going there or African Americans going there. So the African Americans, the black individuals, started universities, some through churches, some through land grants and all kind of other things. But they started their own universities to educate their own people. Well, that was phenomenal. You know what? They said, if you don't want me to go to your school, no worries. We're going to teach our own. And we're going to continue to build and build and build. And so now, Project 2025, not just trying to dismantle the Department of Education, but they're also now trying to take funding from not just HBCUs, but all schools. And it's like they're taking from all the other schools. But here is something that you guys have to take into consideration. If you are some of the elite schools that most people will consider elite, right? I'm not going to say my HBCU is not elite. I'm not going that far. No, no, it is absolutely elite. But what I'm sharing with is this: those individual particular schools, right? They have 100 and 200 and 500 and billion-dollar endowments, and they can do some things and make some things happen and all those stuff. Well, unfortunately, HBCUs never had that amount of endowment actually inside of their institutions or in their, I hate to say institutions, but in their schools, right? So not only did they not have it in their schools, but then when they start cutting the Department of Education and start cutting grants and all of those things, that then stop even more funds to come into it. There are several HBCUs that have actually sued their state and won because of the lack of funding that they were receiving to the state compared to other institutions. Now, regardless of what you want to say, I'm just giving you guys facts on that. So when you look at it, that is absolutely it's just terrible. It is absolutely it's a terrible. It accelerates the gaps in education, accelerates the gap in wealth, it accelerates the gap in making higher education and upward mobility even less attainable for black men when you start cutting education. Now, some people may say, hey, but go to another school and go. It's not that easy. Let me just be blunt today. It is not that easy. I am here today to share some powerful information. It's not that easy to get into some institutions, right? My question is this: when you fill out an application, you're filling out an application and your name and address and all of the stuff that they need, right? And they're asking for your scores and you're asking for your test grades and recommendations and your community service and you got all of this stuff. My question is, why do you have your race on your on your application? What does that matter? Are we looking for students with these qualities? Or are we just looking, well, we only going to give a certain amount to this and we only going to give a certain, why? What about giving it to the best student? Period. I don't care what color you are. What about the best student? So when you talk about educational inequalities, yeah, there's literally trying to, for whatever reason, dismantle education. That just defies logic to me, right? Now, I also went in there and started talking about, getting in there and doing some stuff, but then that also goes into voting rights. Oh, yep, I told y'all we hit. Hey, baby, let's get into these voting rights, right? The black political power is in jeopardy due to proposals. Listen to this, due to proposals to overhaul the U.S. Census Bureau. Yes, they want to overhaul it because they don't want certain things, and for whatever reason, blacks to vote. Why is it that I remember the state of Georgia purged over 100,000 people off the voter registration, blacks, and then most of them went back. And why are we doing this? Why, instead of trying to get everybody to vote, now it's like you want to mail in your ballot. Well, they want to limit how many how many boxes you can mail it into, or we want to eliminate this and minimize this. We only want to have the voting booths open to this time or 8 to 5. Well, most people working 8 to 5. You can't get off to go and vote. You got to take a personal day or time off or whatever it may be just to go vote. Why is not, hey, let everybody go and vote? Isn't that what we're trying to do in this society where everybody's included? Well, unfortunately, family, everybody has not been included and not been at the table. So black political power is in jeopardy just because of that. Criminalizing certain election related offenses, criminalizing it, criminalizing it. Such measures could lead as uncounting your vote. There's parts where people are literally trying to uncount the black population. They are trying to intimidate voters. Think about this. There was a particular state, I'm not gonna call the state out, where they said, people were it was a long line. I can't remember if it was the first time President Biden and the what's his name? The other guy, President Trump, they I don't remember the first, I think it was the first time they had these lines around a corner and all of those things. And individuals was literally buying pizzas and like giving people a slice of people because they were in line for so long, whether the machines went down or whatever it is, right? They literally told them you cannot give pizza to people in line. Why are you giving? I mean, what harm is that? Help me understand that, right? So it's under siege. They're taking out, and this whole DEI, as they have mischaracterized that so much. It's like you would need a whole nother show just to talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? So some people say, well, Stanley, it's America. We don't need DEI anymore because, well, why is it that then there's this wealth gap, right? Women get 70% less, 70% to a dollar, where a man get the whole dollar. Why? Or 75%. Why is that? I'm trying to understand. Well, all of that included in DEI, right? They just want everybody to be equitable. They want to be fair. But for whatever reason, individuals that run companies or have always ran the government and all of those things, well, it was not equal. So the voter rights and all of those things came into play so people can be equal. That's what it is. But unfortunately, today, the black male continues to take the brunt of a lot of things. And listen, you can call a show, you can text me, email me, send smoke signals. I don't care. I'm just telling you what have been faced, right? If you let me when you're talking about voting, and this happened to me. I'm not gonna talk about somebody else. This happened to me. Stanley, black male, walk in, gave your ID, and it was the ID, and just because it's me, I also bought my my passport, but I had my ID, had the ID, ready to vote. Just go in, get the votes, fill out the little forms, and go do my thing, right? Well, the person collecting my ID, first of all, they're looking at trying to take my ID like, ew, ew, like I'm about to give them a disease or something because he touched my ID. Then he's got it shining in the light and looking at it up and down, turn it all over, all of these other things. Like, sir, what's wrong? I mean, first of all, you're not going to intimidate me for not voting. That stop that. That we're not going to do that. So you're doing all of these things and looking at me, looking at the card, looking at me, looking at the card. Is this you? Well, who else is going to be? Is my name? Is my everything? Look at the card. Look at it. Then Dick gave it to a friend or his partner or whatever you want to call it. And he looked at me like, yeah, that's him. You looking at you sure? I'm positive it's me, right? So why is it that I have to go through all those things? And I turned back, and the individual that was standing behind me just so happened to be a white male. He never even looked at his ID. He just gave him the form and let him keep going. So my question becomes then, when you talk about voter rights and all of those different things that are out there and why people are trying to intimidate you in voting and trying to push you away from not voting and trying to make it harder for you not to vote. Those are some of the challenges that this Project 2025 is under. I don't know what it is, but it is absolutely under that. I mean, the erosion of civil rights in general, it's just been, I mean, look at the 2025 thing, the Project 2025. It is a checklist on how to do everything we can to eliminate black people overall. But then you start going into eliminating black men even further. Why is it? I don't know if I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk about it now. So if I come back to it and say it again, y'all forgive me. But I'm gonna share something else. So I am a former police officer, right? And I was a police officer for a minute. It wasn't like 2 weeks. We did the thing, and we did a lot of stuff and a lot of great things as when I was a police officer. When I left the police department and then went on and did business, which is great. Here is something that I don't know if I've ever shared publicly, but today I'm going to share this story publicly with everybody. And I want you guys to understand, remember, this happened when I was a police officer, fully accredited, full serve, everything. No issues, no nothing. I was the police. As some people say, I was the po-po. I was all that, doing my thing. And I remember one day my older daughter, Tyriel, shout out to Tyriel and Jeremy, and my baby, little prince as I call him. But anyway, so Tyriel and she wanted to go get some donuts from this particular donut spot in New Orleans. It was on the West Bank. I'm not going to give too much more details than that, but you guys get it. It was on the West Bank, and I was living on the West Bank. So we drove down the West Bank Expressway and went to the spot, and we were on our way back driving. I'm in the middle lane driving, right? Then I got into the quote unquote the right lane or the slow lane, and we just are driving along, and and then I see from a distance flashing lights. The police was coming, but for whatever reason, they were in the slow lane, right? They were in the right lane. So I'm trying to figure out why they're in. First of all, that it's not supposed to be in that lane at all, right? So I'm trying to figure out. So he ride up behind me, so then I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, what does he want me to do? So then I get into the middle lane and he speeds past me in the slow lane and looking at me all hard and all of those things. So I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, okay, that's all kind of violation, but I just left it alone and riding, and he went on up the way and did his thing. And so as we are driving on the street, just driving, and I see him come running and flagging me down. I'm like, okay, what is this all about? So we stopped. My daughter and I, she was in the back seat, so we stopped. Now remember, I am a police officer. I have my police badge. I have my identification, my police identification. I have my driver's license. I have all of those things, right? So I pull over and he come running and barking. What? Oh, I ain't gonna say some of the language. And he's barking, right? Now remember, my daughter is in the back seat and he's barking, well, what are you doing? And you don't see me coming. And I don't know. And I mean, he is going in. Remember, I am a police officer. I want you guys to hear this and understand this, right? And so I'm like, what's the problem? You don't see me coming behind you. Well, first of all, you're not supposed to be in the right lane with your lights and sirens on. That's state law, right? Oh no, no, and how no, and he bought, give me your ID right now. And so I took out my ID and I gave him my police ID, my driver's license, and he looked. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes from all over the world, he looked at it. Well, what does this mean? This don't make you above the law. And so he looked. I looked at him, and he said, "Step out the car." Okay, I get out the car. So I closed the door. I said, "What's the problem?" Just like that. What's the problem? Because now it then went from I was wrong, oh, you should have pulled over, whatever. Okay, whatever. But now you starting to bark like you are above the law, like you gonna talk down on me. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Anybody know Stanley? No, no, no. We'll go to a certain point. Then it's no, 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 no. We're not gonna do that. And then listen to what he did, family. He threw my ID and my badge on the ground. Not my badge, I'm sorry. My ID and my license on the ground. Just threw it on the ground. Well, when you see a car come, you need to pull over. And he threw it on the ground. What wait, shout out to Keisha. Keisha. I'm like, baby, it's gonna be a reckoning today. It's gonna be a problem today. So I'm in regular clothes, so I'm not gonna cause a challenge or an issue or any of that stuff in front of my daughter. But inside, anybody know me? I was furious. So he speeds off. Okay, no worries. I got you. Got my stuff and went on back to the car. And Tyrell was like, "Daddy, you okay?" Like, "Yeah, we're fine." He was just upset. It's okay. So, Tyrell sat back and we went home and ate our donuts. And I know police story donuts. Yeah, yeah, I know y'all cracking jokes now. It's okay though. So we did all of those things, right? And I could not, this is one of those days I couldn't get to work fast enough. So time went on. So I put my uniform on and I went straight to their station. I didn't skip go. Soon as Tanya got back, I went straight to the police station. Full uniform, baby. I could not wait to get into the police station. I walked straight into the commander's office. Commander, I didn't stop at the desk. I skipped go. I went straight to the commander's office. Commander, we have a problem. So I described the situation for him, and he was horrified. The commander was horrified. And he just asked, Stanley, can we please handle this? And we'll go from there. Now I have worked with them, and that's not a problem. But I've made it very clear. You gonna handle this today, or I'm gonna handle it. And if I see him, it's gonna be a bad misunderstanding. I was very animated at that point. Matter of fact, I'm starting to sweat and get hot now thinking about it. So, anywho, later on that night, I'm at work, I didn't share it with my supervisor, just did my protocol thing. And it was like, okay. So, they checking to make sure. So doing my thing or whatever. And lo and behold, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is a good one. I had an arrest that night. And I was bringing the individual to lockup, right? And who I see coming out of lockup. And it was another guy that was with him. Ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all laughing at me. Ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't get the gentleman that I was taking to lockup inside a lockup fast enough. Soon as those doors closed, I was tapping to let me out. I needed to go address him. And when I walked over to the guy that was with him, his partner, and I knew the partner, I said, "Listen, I'm about to address your partner, and it's about to be a misunderstanding. I'm telling you, it's going to be a misunderstanding." And all of the energy he had when I was in civilian clothes or regular clothes and all of the stuff, and he all this, that, and other, all of a sudden he's meek as a lamb. He's oh no, 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 no. I wish I could say it how I really want to say it on this podcast. But let me just say, it was a misunderstanding outside. It was a misunderstanding. And we had a misunderstanding, and we continue to have a misunderstanding. And his partner was like, man, I've never seen Stanley so furious in his life. And then he found out why. And he said, you know what, Stanley, do what you need to do. Because if he would have did that in front of my daughter, I'm not telling you what I was done. So, anywho, I say all of that to share that long story to say, as a black male, right, riding down the street, even though I was a police officer, I understand the other side of dealing with systematic racism and social injustice. I mean, it is absolutely horrific. See, my counterparts, my white friends, my white male friends, white female friends, my Asian male friends, my Asian female friends, my Hispanic male friends, my well, maybe not Hispanic in these day and times, the way this administration doing, but it is nothing worse, right? When you ride down the street, you got your license, insurance, your registration, everything is paid up, your car is clean, you just finished inspection, or you just got your emission tickets, everything is perfect, right? But it is nothing nobody can tell me as a black male how I feel, even when I'm clean, riding clean, and you see lights coming behind you, the how you grip the steering wheel and your knuckles get white because you're thinking, okay, yep, license, registration, yep, got that, got insurance, all of those things. See, that is a systematic thing that has been happening for years and years and years and years. Why? Because you're seeing people that are facing, and black men that are facing injustice, and now you have systematic racism. You have social injustice. When you're talking about the whole system is messed up. How is it that in a system in America you will have racism? And I would say y'all raise y'all hand, but I can't see y'all. So y'all ride with me on this one, right? You have systematic racism where you know you're qualified. You know you're that person and then some. You have every single thing. You got the education, you got the degrees, the work experience, you got all of everything they want and more, and then they'll go and hire. I'm telling you what has happened in my life. They'll hire someone else, and I got countless of stories from other people, and they will hire somebody that they train, and they'll hire them for the supervisor position, right? And then they'll say, oh, well, we thought he was a better fit. No, he wasn't no better fit. You didn't want the black man in that spot. So now they turn back around and say, hey, can you be a team player and train X, Y, and Z person? Can you train him? Hell, I can't train him. How I'm going to train somebody, right? And you give me all of these things. I didn't stay to work late. I didn't came early. I didn't did extra things and all that stuff. Okay, this how we gonna roll. So this how we gonna do it. Nope, I'm gonna do my job. Since y'all say he's not a good fit, I'm not a good fit. Clearly, what I'm doing is not correct. So what I have to do is get with the description, my job description, and just do that. It doesn't say to train my supervisor who don't know nothing. So when I'm talking about, those are just some of the systematic racism and social injustice, y'all. I mean, where y'all want to start? I mean, where y'all want to start? Let's look at the prison population by percentage. Somebody was smart one day and they say, "Well, Stanley, there's more white people in jail." Yeah, look at y'all. Look at the percentage though, right? Look at the percentage. If there's 2 black people in jail and there's a population of 4, that's 50%. But if there's 100 white people, right, that's in the community, and 10 went to jail, that's only 10%. I mean, come on, y'all ride with me. Y'all have to understand this. Now, I want you guys to understand. I'm not against whites, not against blacks, I'm not against Asian, I'm not against Hispanic. But I'm trying to share with you guys these challenges that black men face on a daily basis. That's right, on a daily basis. Just on a, just think about that. On a daily basis. Let's talk about healthcare. Ah, yep. Let's talk about healthcare. Healthcare in the black community is lacking, just period. For a black male, is even worse, right? Let me share this. I did a story, not a story. I did a podcast on this some time ago about Willie Lynch and the Lynch syndrome. Y'all go look it up. Go to Let's Talk with StanleyDoucette.com and look it up. I forgot what season it was in, but it broke down the Lynch syndrome, talking about Willie Lynch, an old slave master, and all of those things, right? And it started talking about how in the Lynch syndrome, the Willie Lynch letters and all that he sent about controlling their slaves, and how if you do these things, it will control slaves, not just this, but for years and years to come. Okay, they did that, and they did it well, right? And they started taking the strongest male, the strongest black male, and they literally, I mean, they did everything to him, and they literally ripped him apart. And in some cases, they put a horse on one side and hook him up on one side and then hook him on another side, and then literally watch those horses literally pull him apart. I want y'all to feel this thing. And so now people are thinking, well, if they're doing that to the strongest, they're now getting into individuals' minds, right? They're getting into the black male, the other black men, the other black females. They're getting into their mind, and then they started separating them by colors. The strongest this, the strongest that, the darker this, the lighter that, the medium shade this, and they started proportionalizing um, the black family and separating them. And then they started raping the women and creating different things in that situation. And everything, if you go back, it started talking about the mind, the mind. So now when you talk about healthcare and you don't have black men wanting to talk about their pain, and they don't want to talk about what they're going through and the mentality, and why the suicide rate sometimes just shoot up, and why all of those things are happening, and why healthcare is disproportionate in the black field, because there's a few things that's going on. Number one, the civil rights, all of that stuff is being ripped apart. So now, instead of putting hospitals and mental health care wards and all those things in the black community, they're putting them in other communities and making the black individuals ride to that community, but they can't get there. And if they don't have public transportation, now they can't get there, or they got to catch a cab or Uber or Lyft, right? And sometimes they can't afford that. So what would they do? Yeah, I know I really need to get to the doctor, but let me not go. I've been terminated from my insurance for whatever the reason is, and most of the time you went back and saw there's all kind of issues with the healthcare. So now you're looking at they're having issues with voting rights. They're having issues with education, the erosion of the civil rights, and now healthcare, just keeping them healthy. If you gave individuals, the black males, black females, the whole black family, all of these things, they will be probably the best individuals in the community, not just for their own community, but for everybody. But what happened is they're tearing that apart. Already face disproportionately high morality rates. I mean, mortality rates. Just think about that. They're vulnerable to proposed restrictions on abortion care, healthcare services. I mean, I've seen people just don't want to take care, just don't want to touch the lady or the man that came in there. That's crazy. And you come a black male come in there, it's like, oh, whoa. And some people just like don't want to even deal with them. That further puts black men in difficult situations, right? I'm lowering my voice because I also want you guys to hear this. When you start also adding in, now listen to this. When you start adding in this one right here, earnings, disproportionate earnings, disproportionate earnings. You know, most men. Now I know you. Now listen, every race got these couple knuckleheads that you just like. Okay, where you come from, right? But when you talking about uh, poverty and unemployment, yes, some of it goes back to the mental game that is still transferred over from hundreds of years ago, even from those letters and how they were controlling slaves. But the wealth gap and poverty and unemployment is just crazy. I was looking at the statistics. Yep, yep. I told y'all I was serious about this thing. I was looking at the statistics in 2024 to 2025 for black men, right? For black men. Men 16 years and older, unemployment rate in 24 was 6.8, and 25 is 7.1. 16 to 19, to break it down, was 18.7 in 24, 20.7 in 25. 20 years or older is 6.3 in 24 and 6.7 in 25. Listen to this: 20 to 24, that's that college age, just around getting out of college, all of that stuff, first coming out of college. 12.8 in 24, 15.5 in 25. Now, I want you guys to think about this. We're in middle of the year in 2025, and it's already higher than it was in 24. Just think about that for a second. If you're between the ages of 25 and 54, it was 5.8 in 2024 and 5.6 in 2024. Now it's 5.7 in 2025. I'm looking at these stats and I'm like, man, I'm sorry, it's 5.8 and 6.1. I'm looking at these stats and it's crazy. Now let's talk about that 45 to 54 range, right? Let's come on down. It was 4.5 in 2024. It's now 6.2. 6.2. Think about that. 6.2. Regardless of what, when you start talking about those wealth inequalities, you start talking about those wealth gaps for individuals, that becomes a problem all the way around, because now you can't bring home the money, right? You want to bring home the money, but you can't. Um, white males, white females make more money on overall than black males. Man, that's why everybody's not making the same amount of money. I don't understand that. Let me. I'm looking up. I got notes everywhere, y'all. Just by the way. So poverty and unemployment. Black America experienced a higher rate of poverty and unemployment compared to the other racial groups, with black men often facing particular high unemployment rates. And by the way, let's go into something else. Prejudices, right? Prejudice is learned. It's not a birth known. It's learned. You have to learn prejudice from somewhere. So when people are being prejudiced to you, that's learned from somewhere, right? Now, why am I sharing that? I know sometimes you'll go to a job or an interview, and in the black community, especially black men, my dad used to tell me this all the time: you have to be two, three, four, five times better than the individual that is of the opposite race, because they're going to look at your skin tone. If you have tattoos, that probably eliminates you. You have cornrows or dreads, that's going to eliminate you. You got twists, that may eliminate you. And God forbid you have gold teeth or slugs in your mouth, that's definitely going to say no. That's a no, right? How you're dressed, or is your pants sagging, or are they not sagging? All of these things you have to literally mentally go through to make sure, at least when they first see you, it fits their profile, not your own, but it fits their profile. One thing that just popped into my head: how many times do we have to downgrade ourselves to fit into someone else's little small box? Hence, that's where the HBCUs came in. They said, you know what, do your thing. We're going to build our own. And now they're trying to tear down what we already built. I don't get it. Well, it is just, in my eyes, it is just evil. Period. It is just evil. It have no idea why you cutting research. You have no idea why you cutting and playing with people voting rights. Why they creating these laws to make it harder to vote and harder to access different things and harder to do other things. Why are you trying to eliminate people's history? from American history? Why are you trying to remove books and say, oh, these books are evil and dirty? And I can go on and on and on. But it is issues, it's issues. But let me give you the solution. I don't ever want to leave a podcast and share all of this information and share all of this goodness, right, with every single person, but don't leave with a solution. And yes, we have a solution. So, what is your solution? My eyes running and everything. I didn't got all in. Y'all should see me on YouTube. I'm wiping my eyes and stuff. So, what is the solution? If you're somewhere, I want you to write this down that you can take some notes with. Write this down. If you're driving, go back and listen to it a little bit later. But this is very important. This is the solution for all of those challenges. If you're some of my white friends and you're like, Stanley, that's just wrong, I got a solution for you. If you're some of my Hispanic friends, I got a solution for you. If you're some of my black friends, I got a solution for you. I have the solution to eliminate all of these issues and challenges that we would have to deal with a Project 2025. We would have to deal with stupidity. We would actually be in a position now to help individuals all across. He wants to cut Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, that's helping individuals. I don't get that. Who's going to cut cancer research? But that's what's going on right now in this big, beautiful bill. So all of that stuff going on. So let me just break this down to you just real quick. I got the solution. Y'all ready? Everybody got something to take some notes with? I got the solution. It's going to be deep. Ding, 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 ding. Get ready for this one. This one is deep. You ready? Vote. That's it. Vote. When it comes to the election, vote. Don't let them turn you around. Vote. That's it. Go and vote. Do you realize if individuals would have voted that it would be a different outcome today? Go and vote. Go and vote. Vote, vote, vote. Don't let no one turn you around. There are literally people that lost their lives for you to get your little butt up out of bed and go and vote. Vote. And don't vote for a party line. Yep, I said it out loud. Don't go vote for a party line. Vote for somebody that's literally going to have your back. Go and vote. If people would have did that for Kamala Harris, we would have had a different outcome. Don't let the isms get to you. Racism, sexism, feminism, all of the other isms. No, don't do that. Go and vote. Vote, 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 vote. If we would have voted, a few more people would have voted, this election would have been totally, totally different. Go vote. Go vote. The midterm elections are coming up. There are some state elections that are coming up. There are some state legislatures that are coming up. Congress are coming up. Some of these senators' seats are coming up. Go vote. Go vote. And I guarantee you, if you go and vote and you have people in there right now, I think the Democrats have more of a love for people overall. I'm not saying they're the best. I just an opinion, right? But go and vote. Go and vote. Because right now, what's going on in America is an atrocity. But here's the solution. Go vote. Go vote. Just simply go and vote. Don't let, as I say, don't let nobody stop you. Don't let nobody turn you around. Go vote. I don't care how long you got to stand in line. Go vote. Your future is depending on it. Go vote. Wars are depending on it. Go vote. Education is depending on you. Go vote. Federal employees who just absolutely lost their jobs for no reason. Go vote. Congresswomen, congressmen, go vote. Go and vote. All right. So listen, family, I know I normally have a lot of upbeat podcasts and all that, but I have to share this one today. It's too much going on. It's too much weight. But I wanted to share from a black male perspective what's going on in 2025 for them. So make sure whatever elections that are coming up, go vote. Go check your voter registration. Make sure it's active. Make sure it's live, where you can go and vote. vote for your, vote and make sure that person is going to represent you, your family, and your community overall. When they go to Congress, they're not going there to get a paycheck and go whatever the wind goes, but go there to make sure that they're going to vote your best interest. All right. So listen, family, I love you guys. Thank y'all for hanging in there with me. I'll see y'all next week. Y'all know we're gonna do it big. We're gonna do it live again. So whatever it is, go and vote. And I'll see you guys next week on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. By the way, go to our YouTube channel. Let's Talk, and that's with apostrophe S, L-E-T apostrophe S. Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. Go to our YouTube channel. Check us out. You see all the live videos, some bonus videos in there. So I can't wait till you guys go and join us. Thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys next week on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. We out. Peace.